Hi everyone, my name is Becca. Before I go to Korea, I just wanted to tell you a little bit more about my story. I became a K-pop fan back in 2004 and started singing in 2005 and then started auditioning for companies in 2006. The first company that I ever heard back from was JYP. I passed the first round of their online audition in 2007 and they invited me to a live audition in Tokyo, so I actually flew out by myself in the summer of 2007. I didn't pass, but a couple of months later I found myself in the news in South Korea. Basically, I recorded a song cover with Sharon. She's one of my closest friends. We met through our love of K-pop and singing, and we're still friends to this day. We posted it not long after the official version released. It was called Promise You by a unit put together by Samsung for a commercial called Any Band, and it included Boa, who's one of my all-time favourite singers, the first Korean singer that I got into. So Sharon sang Boa's part and I sang Junsu's part, Junsu from TVXQ or JYJ. A couple of days after we posted the cover, another friend, Ada, told me that we were in the news in Korea. So the video went viral. Samsung actually emailed us and, they found it really interesting. They mentioned us in their press release and promises were made to bring us over to Korea and to train and debut. But in the end, communications broke down and it didn't happen, obviously, because I'm still here. So the dream it didn't die, but it kind of went on a hiatus for a couple of years. It lay dormant for a while and I continued to just sing and post covers online for fun, both with Sharon and with other friends on various music forums. And then in 2011, one of my favourite boy bands announced that they were coming to the UK, and that's SHINee, who are under SM Entertainment, same as Boa, Girls' Generation, Super Junior. So they came over. I was absolutely thrilled. I went with a bunch of fans to Heathrow Airport to greet them, and it was absolutely it was an experience. It was very, very high-pitched and squealy and overexcited, and the concert itself was amazing. I just sat there completely starstruck for a couple of minutes, oh my god, this is actually them. These guys that I've been looking at on YouTube for all these years are right in front of me. Oh my god. And I ended up in the Korean news again because I made a massive fan sign in Korean and I wrote Kia's name on my face because Kia's my fave. Kia's bae. Yeah, I sort of ended up in the spotlight again for a brief moment, and I guess I was really inspired by seeing SHINee live, and I realised I still really wanted to make my impossible dream come true somehow, so I decided to keep trying. In 2012, the Korea Tourism Organisation held vocal and dance workshops during the London Olympics. They flew some vocal and dance coaches out who actually trained the K-pop idols themselves. So they came to London and they taught us Korean songs, and then they also judged competitions at the end of the fortnight, one dance and one vocal, and the winners would get to go to Seoul. Now, I was absolutely terrified because I'm a very shy, anxiety-ridden child, and it was very, very difficult for me. I almost couldn't bring myself to go through with it, but in the end I went. I sang 만약에 or If by Taeyeon and G by Sunshine Girls' Generation, and I actually won, so I got to go to Seoul for free, and I spent about 9 days out there and it was absolutely incredible. It's such a magical trip, honestly. I got to go to M Countdown, I got to see Kara before Nicole and Jiyoung left, and everything about it was awesome, and I've been dying to go back. So yeah, it was absolutely amazing. But as well as the free Korea trip, I also gained a little bit of self-confidence, a little bit of self-belief. I started to actually really believe that I could make this dream come true. I'd just slung my way to South Korea, and that was a really big deal to me because I'd been into Korean music for such a long time and I'd been trying to make it as a singer and not getting anywhere, and then all of a sudden things started to happen. So when I came back from Korea, I decided to try to keep going, so I entered Open Mic UK, which is probably the biggest singing competition outside of the X Factor here, and SBS K-pop Star, because for the first and I think last time they brought their global auditions to London. They held a Europe audition, so I entered that. There were a couple of hundred people turned up from various different European countries, not just the UK, and then 12 of us were put through as European finalists. So obviously I was one of those. We had to come back and sing again in the evening, so it was a very, very long day because I'd been there before 9 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't pass. Actually, I panicked and I forgot the lyrics to one of the songs that I sang, and I think that's probably part of the reason I didn't get put through, so I didn't get to go to Korea for the televised rounds. But it was an amazing experience, and so I was starting to experience some success this year. I started to be noticed by people. People seemed to see something in me, people could see potential, and I didn't feel like they really had before this point. So I found it very exciting. Even though I hadn't made the dream come true yet, I felt like this is it starting, so it just spurred me on to work even harder. While all of this was going on, K-pop was becoming more popular in the UK and Europe in general, so I got to see more K-pop acts this year. I went to Paris for Music Bank, which is incredible. There were like 8 different groups that went, including Girls' Generation and SHINee, 2 of my absolute favourite groups, so that was absolutely incredible. It was one of the best nights of my life. As well as Music Bank, I also went to a concert organised by NBC in London, and it was a Korean cultural celebration, so it included traditional music and dancing and hanbok, as well as K-pop in the form of EXO-K and 4 Minute. And I was briefly in the news again. My wonderful Baekhyun Will You Marry Me banner was in the background of the opening to that report. So yeah, Baekhyun actually saw that banner as well. I never got a reply though, sad times. In 2013, my confidence continued to grow, as did the interest in K-pop in both the UK and Europe. I went to see Infinite that year, and I also branched out into modelling myself. I did some commercial modelling assignments, and I actually did a paid performance contract in China. I went out there as a dancer or singer in bars and clubs and things, which was way out of my comfort zone. Very stressful in all honesty, but it was a really amazing experience and gave me a little taste of what life as a performer could really be like. And I started to feel more like a legitimate artist, like a proper singer, because people wanted to pay me to sing, which was a pretty novel experience for me. So that was very exciting. And I also started to gig a little more locally. I became friends with Jamie, who organises a lot of gigs in the local area, and he's been really encouraging and supportive and a big believer in me and my dreams. So massive shout out to Jamie, you're awesome. In 2014, I finally decided to try out for the K-pop Web Festival, and I was really shocked and excited to pass to the regional final in London, because I was one of the last finalists to be notified. Other people had been posting about how they'd had an email saying they'd got through, and I was like, oh, damn it, I guess I didn't make it. But, so I was really, really surprised when I got the email. I sang an EXO song, I sang Miracles in December, and I was really nervous and didn't quite perform my best, I don't think, but it was an amazing experience. Everyone was so friendly and so enthusiastic and encouraging, and it was just lovely to perform to such a supportive audience. So I really enjoyed the experience, and again, it just gave me a little bit of a boost that I'd managed to get chosen for the final, even though I didn't place anywhere, so I was really happy with that. This year I was busy with a new job, and I had actually decided not to enter. But on the day of the deadline, I had a change of heart and just submitted my video last minute, because I just really wanted to go to Korea and decided to just try it one more time. On the day of the final itself, I felt really unwell and anxious and dizzy and sick and faint. I was lying on the floor, feeling like I was dying. But I had to give it everything, because I decided this was it. This was my last try. It's been 10 years, and if I can't make it now, then I probably never will.
What made you participate in the festival again this year?
I just really want to go sing in Korea, so I'm trying to get it.
Well, fingers crossed this might be your years.
So it was sort of all or nothing. And I went out and I sang, and the response was absolutely incredible. I felt like part of my dream came true right there on that stage, and I felt absolutely elated and skipped off the stage. I was just on cloud 9, honestly. I was so happy. I was absolutely thrilled with how it went and with how everyone reacted, and I felt like it was the beginning. I truly believed in myself and my dream that day, and I could see that other people believed in it too. And suddenly, after all these years, it seemed a little bit less impossible. In the months that followed, I barely slept. I crossed off the other countries as they held their finals and waited anxiously for news. Eventually, I found out that I'd passed the first preliminary round and had to record my performance again. I had the option to submit up to 3 videos, so I submitted a Youre melody and Taeyeon's If. Finally, they announced the winners on the 22nd of September, and I broke down in tears as soon as I found out. A couple of days later, I found out that KBS had actually changed my song to If. They must have liked that video even more than my regional final performance, which honestly kind of surprised me. But this is the song that won me the trip to Korea back in 2012, so it's already very meaningful for me. And I'm really excited to perform it to 25,000 people in Changwon 3 years later. So if I can get all mushy for a second, if I hadn't changed my mind and entered this competition on the deadline day, I might have walked away right before I started to make my dream come true. So if you're listening to this and you have a dream, I want you to hold on to it, however big and however impossible and however out of reach it seems right now, because you truly never know just how close you are. Thank you very much for watching, and look out for updates from Changwon. I'm still really childishly excited about this, I'm sorry.